Hi, I'm Hunter from ScreenFeed, and today we're going to take a look at getting your Power BI reports showing on a screen using BroadSign player level authentication. There are a few things that you need for this project, and the first thing is a screen. It can be a smart TV, a not so smart TV, an LED wall, a video wall, a projector. Just some way to display your digital content on a screen. Past that, you do need a player and software. This video is specifically about BroadSign players and software. If you have a different player, we have other methods for providing player authentication, and you can still get your Power BI reports. Please check out those videos. If you have BroadSign, you're in the right place. And the last thing we need is Power BI from ScreenFeed. To get Power BI from ScreenFeed, go to screenfeed.com, choose Browse Apps, then search for Power BI. Select the Power BI tile, then choose Subscribe Now or Try It Out. Either way, you will be required to have a ScreenFeed account. This you can set up for free, and if you choose Try It Out, you get a 30-day trial of Power BI. Once you set up that subscription, you should see in your dashboard under Configure Feeds the option for Power BI. Click Create a Feed, then choose your delivery method. The only method that has the player level authentication security at any level is HTML. Choose HTML and select the shape of your screen. The screen behind me is 16:9. If it's 1080p, the 4K indicator here is just to show that it can scale up to 4K. As a reminder, if you have a vertical display like this one, a portrait display, your report will fit that screen, but it will not fill that screen. So if you have a horizontal report, it will show horizontally on the vertical screen. You would need to build out your report or dashboard in a vertical manner to have it fill the vertical screen appropriately. So we scroll down a little further, we can choose how long we want each item to be displayed, and we'll select our login. Now, if you haven't logged in yet, which you most likely haven't, you will see sign in with Microsoft. When you click that, it's going to ask for the credentials of the user that has read access to the reports and dashboards you want to show. It also will ask for approval from an administrator of your Microsoft tenant. So if that's not you, if it's your IT department or something, you'll need to let them know that this can be scaled down by the user using Microsoft Entra, and it is a user that only needs read access to specific reports. So they can even spin up a second user that just has that access plainly if they're very concerned about security. So we'd sign in with the email address and the password for that user. And then it will show up here under your accounts that are connected. Next, we'll select our workspace and add things like reports and dashboards. So I'm going to add this metrics report, and I'll add feed options. Now you can see here that we can adjust which report shows first, and we can remove reports as well, or add more items in using that same process. Now, because we're showing you BroadSign specific authentication, we're going to click Require Players to Authenticate, and we'll choose BroadSign. Now, if we scroll down further, it's going to ask for a variable name. So I'm going to put in secret as my variable name. Now you can put absolutely anything in here. It can be a long string of characters. You can use a generator or something, but this variable is how you're proving that this is the correct feed and the correct player or to play back on. Now for a secret value, I can say generate, or I can copy that generated secret, or I can put in my own value. Now putting in value maybe not the most secure option, but lets you see how this is processed. So the other option would be to generate and have us generate a token for you, or once again, enter in a string that you deem more secure. Now we're going to name our feed Power BI Broadsign. And if I scroll down further, I'm going to click Create Feed. Now that my feed's created, I have two URLs. I have a feed URL and a playlist URL. Now the playlist URL is intended for players that have a lesser ability, maybe an older browser, maybe the player is like a single board player that doesn't have a lot of memory or ability to process HTML. And so most of the time we'll choose one or the other depending on what the right scenario is. In this case, I'm just going to choose this top feed URL. Now that we've got that set up, we are going to take a look at in Broadsign Administrator how we get Power BI in there with the player level authentication. So I'm opening up Broadsign Control Administrator right here. Make that a little bit bigger. And we're going to go to display units, and we need to add in that secret and value as a variable, attributing it to a specific player. So I'm going to display units. I'm going to choose my display unit. And then from here, I will choose players, and I've got my player right here. And under that player, I'm going to choose settings. And this is kind of small. Let's drag it open a little bit. We're going to choose variables. Now I already have it in here, but you can see if we click add, the variable name we set previously when we were setting up our feed. So our variable name is secret and our value is value. And we'll click OK. So that's all that's needed because we have the configuration set up on the feed end and now on the player end to recognize both that secret and value in variables, and it will make that connection. And once I hit apply and I push that change to the player as well as ingesting that feed, it will authenticate for us. So we'll go to add copies, and we'll add in the Power BI feed as an add copy. So we're going to click, I'm just right clicking here and I'm going to say new web redirect file. We'll call this Power BI Broadsign, and we'll paste in that URL we had generated here. So I'm just going to click copy, get rid of that, and we'll paste. Now when I click finish, that's all set up. I'll go to my campaign and get it scheduled. And I'll go to media. We'll add in our add copy. There they are. Now we've got it. We can adjust things like duration, but once we hit apply, we'll see that push to the player. Now the player has that authorization, so we won't see necessarily device code or anything like we do with other authentication methods. If we don't have the secret or the value correct, it will not show up on the screen. So there it is. I've got my Power BI report showing on my Broadsign player using that authentication. If I wanted to make changes to the Power BI feed, I can go into screenfeed.com, go into my account, configure feeds, and edit the feed I've already made. I can add in additional reports and dashboards, change the timing, and once I hit save, that URL stays the same. So I don't need to go back through the authentication process or the publication process. All I have to do is make changes to the feed and let it synchronize, and it will update on my Broadsign player. If you're interested in Broadsign, it's broadsiding.com. If you are looking for more from ScreenFeed, we have products that connect to your Microsoft identity. Things like calendars built for digital signage, LinkedIn, Teams, and our custom content creation tool Connect that connects to Excel spreadsheets and allows for you to make your own custom automatically updating content. As always, I'm Hunter, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.